Imagine what life was like in Atherton in the 1960s. Maybe you remember what Atherton was like in the 1960s. Coal, cotton and bolt manufacturing were still key industries in the town. The church, the corner shop all played a big part in creating a sense of community. But it was a time of change as well. By the end of the decade, all of Atherton's collieries were closed and a lot of council houses were built, replacing slum clearance properties. Nationally, there was a lot of change as well. The swinging 60s was definitely getting underway. Fashion, music, technology, equal rights, everything was changing all at once. And the street just behind me here played a big part in that. Let's go find a little bit more. In 1965, the house behind me, number 3 Robert Street, was lived in by a man with a secret. And his secret was that he was engaging in criminal activity. What kind of activity was this? Well, essentially, he was gay. The man who lived in this house was named Allan Horsfall, and he worked for the National Coal Board at Chanters Colliery. But in his spare time, he campaigned for homosexual law reform. At this point, it was illegal to be gay in Britain. If 2 men were caught in public or private, they could face anything from a £5 fine, life imprisonment, or have to undergo conversion therapy. In his spare time, Allan helped try and change the law. In 1964, along with a man named Colin Harvey, Allan helped form the North Western Homosexual Law Reform Committee. In order to publicise the group, they included Allan's home address on Robert Street in all their advertisements and leaflets. This was an incredibly risky thing to do at the time because it not only told everyone that Allan was involved in illegal activity, but also told everyone exactly where he lived. Behind me, we can see how the public reacted to this. So this is the front page of the Lee Reporter from February 1965, and the Homosexuals and the Law headline ran across all 8 columns. More or less, people were in favour of repealing homosexuality, but there was an opinion piece inside which was quite critical of homosexual men at the time and said that they had been contaminated when they were younger. The campaign to decriminalise homosexuality was finally achieved in 1967 for all men over the age of 21. But the battle didn't end there for Allan. He spent the rest of his life fighting for equal rights, such as lowering the age of consent, abolishing Section 28, and supporting the community during the AIDS crisis. Horsfall has been referred to as the grandfather of modern gay rights movement in Britain, but the path to equality can sometimes feel like a slow and laborious process. However, when we look back at these historical sources, we can see just how far we've come.